Open the meeting for August 14th, 2023. My apologies, it's after 7 p.m. In attendance, Jonathan Brinker, Laura Foley, Bob Cronin, and Melissa Cowell. All right. On the agenda, I guess we'll start with the first item. I don't have the meeting minutes from the last meeting, so we're going to have to skip over that. Donna has not sent that to me yet, so we can't approve those. Any old issues or any old business we want to review from our last meeting? I left that open-ended. Otherwise, we can skip on to the next part.
Can't remember any old business.
Okay. So council member statuses, we've had a number of departures, as you know. The Shays have ended their term, as well as Lori and Sarah. We are pretty much it now. We have a vacancy for one more slot. Actually, we have as many as we want. They have extras or auxiliary. So even though there's 5 on the council, we can have more than 5. Especially that's important during voting. When you need 5, and we'll go over that as well.
So 5 is a quorum to vote?
For voting, yes, and I'll go over that as well. It's actually in the guide here for this year. We had one individual, actually 2 individuals that were interested. Ellen, I played phone tag and email and text chase with her over the last month. I've not been able to get directly in touch with her. Her phone number is from a number up in Maine, and she's not returned my calls directly. I've sent emails and texts, so at this point, she'll have to reach out again if she wants to pursue. Another gentleman down the road from me who's also interested, who cannot make it tonight, and I'm going to pursue that lead as well. If you have any friends or family, that would like to join the council, hello. Please do not hesitate. I have here, the process is pretty much, it's an appointed position, so you get to fill one of these out, and it needs to get approved by the select board. And that's it. And then you have to do conflict of interest training and then get sworn in, and that's pretty much it. It's a very simple process. There's no...
Have I done that? That's
yes, you have done this as well.
by the trustees?
No, for Hubbardston Cultural Council.
Oh, I think I have I?
You must have. This is actually the first step in the
Oh,
process.
yeah, okay.
It's available on their website. Yeah. Hi, welcome
Hi.
back.
I'm just here for a few reasons. One, the financials actually just make me nervous about what's going on.
Okay.
The fiscal year for the town
Yeah.
has not been published yet.
I'm sorry, I
So-
can't hear you.
I'm sorry. The fiscal year reporting for the town
Yep.
has not been published yet,
Okay.
so we can't close up our year-end books until we see what they have. And I guess what I was told was until a treasurer is elected by the cultural council,
Yep.
I can't have somebody get the financial reports so that they can look at them. So right now, it's just gonna be me getting them.
So you're referring to the September report that we had to file, correct?
No, I'm referring to the June 30th report
Oh,
of the
that's right.
town,
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
so that we'll know how to balance to the
Yep.
Mass Cultural Council's reporting. And I've been told by the accountant and the not the town administrator, the executive secretary, that they wanna wait till there's a treasurer appointed before they'll add a person to the list to get the reporting. Cause I
Okay.
tried to get you added.
Do you want me to contact Hanako to get advice and guidance on that, since we don't have a treasurer yet, and our executive secretary is holding it?
I maybe.
Okay.
I don't know the next step. I mean, my plan had been to, behind the scenes,
Yep.
get the town's reporting so that I could mimic until year end and make sure you guys got through year end.
Yep.
Fiscal year end and 2023 year end successfully.
Okay.
But I wanted to get somebody else to start seeing the report so they could start trying to either ask me questions or whatever. And I can't do that yet until a treasurer's been appointed by the HCC, from what I've been told.
Okay.
That's where it stands, and that's what I came to, when I wanted to see if there'd be a treasurer appointed. It doesn't look like you have a quorum.
Quorum for the council here?
Yes.
Uh,
You don't have 5 members.
we don't have 5 members to vote. I did contact Hanako about that,
Right.
is we can conduct operational business, but we cannot do is submit a report with changes, that annual report for our policies, that has to remain the same. We can't change that, so I'm gonna resubmit unchanged, with
Okay.
the exception of the positions.
Okay, that's the, priorities and that kind of stuff.
Correct, that's due at the end of the
Gotcha.
month. I
Yep.
have everything queued up on my laptop radio for
Yep.
that. And the other thing we can't do is the voting in November. We can read off the grantees' descriptions that they submit, their application, but we cannot discuss it.
Okay.
So there can be information out, but there can't be a back and forth dialogue.
Were you planning on taking a vote tonight then on treasurer, or no?
When you say treasurer, referring about the town treasurer
No,
or the council?
The council's treasurer.
That was tonight.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that.
So if that gets appointed, then I can contact them and we can start somebody.
Okay, I thought you meant the town treasurer, my bad.
No.
Okay.
Everything's slowed down from Kelly's
Okay.
point of view due to, I guess there's some transition not only in our group, but in the town,
Yeah.
and so that's what's delaying getting these reports out. But anyways, I told them I would get him an answer. You would probably be voting tonight.
Yep.
And that I would get him an answer after this meeting. So that's kind of why my presence is here.
Yep, if we can follow up after the meeting and take care of all that loose end stuff, at least get the process down on what we need to do to move forward, because I don't wanna get trapped in September of not everything lined up and ready to go.
Sounds
Because
good, yeah.
the end of the September is our drop dead date for financials, that's when they
Yeah.
release everything for us,
Yeah,
so.
and that's when
Yep.
the town treasurer will be sending something out to whoever is on her list of contact.
Yep, alright, cool,
Anyway, so that's why I'm here, that's all.
thank you.
She will be sending financial information on the day that it's due? Is that what I heard you say?
No, she will, as soon as it's ready, she will send it out.
Okay.
It was, there is not a due date on town financial reports. She sends it out as soon as it's ready.
Okay.
And I would follow up if it was lagging, and this month, June 30th, we're already in August, I hadn't seen it. So I contacted her and she said, it's not done yet.
Yeah, as a local culture council, we have a deadline of end of September for those financial reports, is what I understand. You've got a copy of it in the packet you gave me, as well as online as well, I saw earlier, so.
And I take it, Tony said there was mail that came in, and she.
I've got it right here, yeah. Henry's in here as well.
Okay,
So we'll-
and so there's the reporting that you have to do for
Okay.
those as a treasurer also,
Yep.
or whoever is treasurer. And so I just wanna make sure,
Yeah, we can take care of all that after we're done with the other items, if you're okay with it, or if you wanna break and do that now.
no,
we
you
need
should
to-
have your meeting.
Yep, okay.
I just,
I don't wanna, keep you, we'll try and get things through here as quick as
Okay.
possible, so, yeah, cool. So there are 2 interests, one is still warm, the other one, I keep chasing Ellen, and she's just not getting back to me directly, so, unless you have a way of contacting her directly.
contacting,
Ellen, she was interested in joining council.
oh, no,
I have a phone number, I have an email,
It was just through a Facebook message, I think.
and I keep playing back and forth with her, so.
But all I had seen was that she contacted us and she was
Yep.
still interested, and that was the last
Yeah, I spent about a month back and forth 3-4 times trying to get in touch with her, so it's
Huh.
gone cold at this point.
okay.
If I have another individual interested, and if anyone else knows of anybody, spouses included, it is allowed, to plug that. All right,
Mike's having fun with the public building, the Public Safety Building Committee, so I think that's as much fun as he can handle.
Cool. All right. Recent events on mine that I have participated or at least know of. Henry the Juggler did attend 2 of the 4 bandstand events that Katie has put on. We still have the 4th one this coming weekend. She explained to me that She was able to negotiate 400 for 3, and then the fourth one, I can't remember if it was free or she found some other funding for it.
Did Henry do that? Did she pay Henry for part of that, or?
I
did
don't
he
know the
take
agreement
a-
with him.
Oh, that's cool,
I've
though, if
I've
you
seen him
wish it-
twice now.
That's very cool, if he
So,
showed
yeah.
up for us twice.
Yep. Very, very cool to see him. The perfect venue for him too. Yeah. The bandstand, I saw 2 of the 4. I missed the last one. I don't know if anybody else has attended the last one. No. And then there's one more coming up this weekend. So on their on her Facebook post, she has all the dates and times for that.
Question?
Yes.
On our Facebook page with dates and times for that particular event?
Yes. Yeah. Katie Young has everything planned out on Facebook for that. All the dates are published, including the artists as well. Dennis Cormier was another individual who we had awarded money to. He has pushed he actually has an event scheduled now for that for May of next year, I believe. It's fine. I think it's 18 months they have, according to the guide.
I thought it was 1 year.
1 year? I go back and look. I saw 18 months today when I was looking through it.
Maybe
It's
it changed.
either pre-award or after the award, 18 months. I gotta look.
I thought it was from the date of the approval
Okay.
letter.
So I'll go back. Bill has been in contact with Dennis, and he gave the thumbs up on it, but I'm gonna go back and double check. I'm sorry?
Legitimately, you're supposed to
Yep.
approve his application again but Dennis has been wonderful.
Yep. But my only concern is the financial part of it, because it's a reimbursement side, and if we have to do carryover on the books, we just wanna make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Go ahead.
stuff we carry from year to year though.
Yep.
That May 17th date you're getting is from an email dated on April 2023. So he's referring to May 2023. So it
Okay,
already
so it's
happened.
already, alright.
Yeah.
Then I gotta go back and look at the thread again, because it sounded like he was, it was for another event.
The forwarded message
Okay.
on April 28th, 2023, telling Bill that the Golden Agers asked Dennis to do a gig for them on May 17th. This is separate from the cultural grant that Claudia and I are working on a date for me to entertain. Bill responds, break a leg, blah, blah. Dennis replies, you will hear from me as soon as I get it scheduled. Here we go. Just letting you know that I will be using my cultural grant at the Hubbardston Senior Center for a December 15th Christmas gig.
Oh,
Sorry,
excellent.
December 15th, I had the date wrong, sorry. I knew I saw that in there somewhere.
And what does that person do?
I have to go back and look.
He entertains, he sings, he's a one-man show, him and his brother used to do a show together. He sings, he entertains, he dresses up, he goes back and dresses up as Santa. It's almost like karaoke, what he does a
Okay,
little bit.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun and they love him. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
So I'll actually change that on the Google Calendar so it reflects appropriately. I had it on as May 17th. Okay. Yeah, Songs of Yesteryear is his title of his grant, so.
He did Elvis one year, it came out like
Cool.
Elvis.
So that'll be coming up as well. And there's only 1 or 2 left, I think, on this sheet, and we can review that as well, see what's left. I think most of it's been
Completed.
completed, yes, thank you. What I haven't done is gone back to the financials to go through the mail and then look at the financials to see who has requested reimbursement yet. And that was actually the second item on the list for the grantee updates, was what was remaining. Field day has not occurred, correct, so that would be another one with the Lions Club. They had a couple in there. Dennis Cormier. Henry did his gig already. Kelly's music.
That was done.
That
That was
was
done.
last week, right?
Yep.
Oh, that was different. They had done something over at the school
Okay.
with the seniors and the students and everything. That was done a while ago.
Concerts in the park, that's still ongoing. Well, technically, again, the fourth one, I don't know what the agreement was with that, but I know that the first three are already paid for. Magical Potter's Wheel. We don't know anything about that one, do we?
He's field day.
Okay. So there's still quite a bit.
Yeah. There's him. And 3 from the Lions Club. Gonna be that day. 3 or 2?
2.
2.
Yeah, we said no to one of them.
Right, so that we could squish them.
Yeah, you
What
had them
do you
in
mean
bold
from
there.
the Lions Club?
They had 3 applications.
The Lions Club had 3
Yes.
applications?
They were all for field day, and we said yes to 2 out of the 3.
Okay.
I can get you a copy of this tonight if you want to take a photo shot of it. We also have more in-depth copies over here in this binder with the numbers. If you go into Smart Simply, or Simply Smart, I forget the name of it, it's all in there until next month when they roll everything over. I know, right? Just so that the group is aware, when they roll over the program year, they make everything vanish from the
Oh.
previous year, which is
How helpful.
very helpful, exactly. Because I think when we were doing the votes for last year's, we were trying to look at previous years and we couldn't find them.
You could put in a request and ask, you know, if they wouldn't do that again, because that was kind of, they used to keep everything, years and years of that data that you could see, but when they moved everything
Okay.
to Simply Smart, they started deleting the
I'll actually
prior
put that in
year.
my, yeah,
And
but
they look for suggestions, so maybe you can suggest that it doesn't disappear on you.
Would you please clarify what Simply Smart is?
it's their online portal for the grant system.
So the Massachusetts Cultural Council's online portal.
Yes, there are actually 2. There's the website itself, the public entity, public face, and then there's the private side of it. That's Smart Simply, which I think you've already signed up and agreed to the account for that. If not, we can go back through that again.
I probably have, but I look at the computer all day long, so it drifts together.
But I'll add this to the list of things for Hanako to talk about.
It's worth a shot.
There's a section on the end of the profile for panels that are looking for help to better improve the cultural council, and I would say yes to that, but I don't know what else is involved and what I'd be getting into, so I'll just ask straight up what I needed, you know. Yeah. Cool. And then the next section we have here, review and vote required council roles. There are 3 core ones that we do have to declare with the state. The rest of them are, there's a base member, and then there's there's the chair, the secretary, and the treasurer. That's the one that Lori was talking about a minute ago. The 2 core ones are the chair and the treasurer. The secretary, yeah, but the other 2 are the ones that Hanako really needs done to keep the ball rolling. So I have here, if you want to review it now, we can go over that somewhere in here. There it is. So there's the treasurers. Some of these items in here are not necessarily part of the treasurer, but they're kind of bleed into, such as updated grants outstanding. We do that every meeting anyways, go over the grant statuses. But this is the treasurer's description. And I also have here papers on the other 2 roles. Secretary is pretty much going to be note-taking for the meetings, bringing the notes to the next meeting for approval, and then also submitting to the clerk the meeting notes that go along with the agenda.
I can cut that argument short and volunteer to be secretary because I don't wish to be the chair and I'm the last person you want as treasurer.
Okay.
No, I am.
I also have here somewhere council tracking, municipal tracking. So somewhere that's the My apologies. That's the form that we have to submit end of September. Maybe it's this one here. There it is. Sample LLC job descriptions. So chair. The chair is going to be responsible for coordinating the meetings, working with the state, direct contact. If somebody, a grantee or an application, and they want to reach out to somebody from the local, the chair would be the front person for that. I just removed Sarah today from the portal as the primary contact and put my name in temporarily until we figure out who's doing what. There's a co-chair position, but you know we're small. Treasurer's the other big one. I think I sent this around, correct? So this is the responsible for that. Pretty much the bookkeeping. Don't have to be involved with the forward-facing, the state contact. With the exception of the financial stuff with the treasurer here in the town, you really don't have to talk with anybody else. You know, shut your door and say, "Don't talk to Jonathan or Sarah or Laura, Sarah, whoever the chair is." But that involves doing a monthly report, I believe, with the town.
Just, most of the reporting does not go to anybody else. It's just
Okay.
at 2 points in time, we have to decide how many dollars we have to spend.
Yep.
And we have to balance to the town as to what they say they've expended on our behalf.
Yep. So the voting and then the form for September that we have to, so those
And then
two
there's-
points in time.
Yeah.
The September form is kind of like our report card to the state. You know, that pretty much says that we're in good standing with them, and you know, and make sure the books are balanced and everything else. Reading through it today.
And they, just to note, they haven't always balanced with the town, so we do have to make, it's a process you have to go, you can't just take the town's report
Yep.
and assume it's correct.
Yep. Lori has some fantastic Excel sheets and whatnot to make some of this stuff easier. Some paper copies are in this binder here as well. I don't know if at some point you can get me those electronic copies of the latest ones.
How'd I send them? Oh, there's nothing later than what I've sent out. I sent it out after.
Electronic.
I sent the
Oh, you did?
electronic copies out.
When did you send them?
Yeah, the day after the last meeting.
Okay, I'll go back and look then. Okay.
They were, the
Alright.
Excel spreadsheets you're asking for, right?
I'm sorry?
The Excel spreadsheets?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did send them out after the last meeting.
I
I sent them to everybody, I think.
So the chair and the secretary treasurer cannot be the same person. This actually comes from the state as well.
Really? Too bad.
They discourage it. They want it two different people.
That makes sense for transparency and keeping things above board.
Well, my head will explode if I, you know. So I've been a little deficient as of late with the financial stuff, and I'm hoping to kind of tie all that up tonight and get that taken care of with you here, if you don't mind.
Or we can, whatever. I
Yeah,
promised
there's-
you I would not drop off the face of the earth, and I
There-
will not.
Yeah, there's some pile of stuff you have to get through. Some of it's reporting, some of it's reimbursement stuff. So the rest of these roles are all just, I wouldn't say superfluous, but they are stuff that we already do. There's a grants coordinator position, but you know, it's pretty simple process. If you look at it from a 30,000-foot level, there's nothing crazy about it. I think the hardest parts are the chair and the treasurer at this point. Coordinating with the chairperson, coordinating all the different facets and, you know, making it all mesh, and then of course the treasurer with the bookkeeping part of it. There's an education coordinator, there's a fundraising coordinator, and then there's a special projects coordinator, but you know, we're not a big shop for that. So I can do the chair or the treasurer, but I can't really do both. I agreed to do the treasurer per Bill Shea at the last meeting. But in order to get to this point, I had to take on the chair role. So I'll continue to do both if we have to. But just be aware that, you know, I'm going to do my best, but be patient with me. Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to sell either position, I think.
Well, that's why they
Rather
really
easy.
discourage having the same person do both. It's
Yeah.
really their big shoes to fill. They're the core of the council.
Again, I promise, whoever wants to take it on, I do not think you have to do what I did. I
Yeah.
did that for my own sanity to keep track of things. But somebody may have a much neater way of accomplishing the same thing.
Yeah, so I can take on the treasurer role, like I promised. I just need somebody to take care of the meeting organization, working with Hanako and the state side of it. You won't be alone. Don't worry. There's many of us that can help out, as well as the ex officios out there. So, yeah. So I'll continue with the treasurer part, but I'm hoping that someone can step in and help out with the chair stuff. That'll be also something I'll have to submit to the state come the end of the month. So, all right. Where's my agenda? All right. So secretary, Miss Laura.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to vote on it?
I'll second the motion. I'll first the motion, sorry. Any seconds?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Yay, all right. I'll take the treasurer role. Any notions on that?
I nominate Jonathan Biker.
I'll second the nomination.
All in favor?
Third.
All right.
Can you third it? I don't know.
Any nominations for chair? I had to ask.
Yes.
Okay, we'll leave that open for now. All right, treasurer report, monthly financial report. That's gonna be an internal thing we talked about a minute ago, and we can review that after the meeting. We'll get that ball rolling again with that. There's a September financial meeting that we have to submit as of the end of September, and we'll go over the timeline in the calendar in a minute here and what that whole process involves. So, I hate it. This is the old one. I just had the new one in a second ago. Here's my copy.
Is it right there?
2024. This is 2023. Yes, it is the 2023. It's the 2024 when I printed it out. Oh, it is, all right. They call it 2024 in one spot on the web, so, all right. So this is the Bible right here. It's all right here. Most of it is self-explanatory. There's some edge cases we'll have to go to Ms. Brace for, our state representative. If you sign into the Smart Simply web portal, you'll see her contact information there. You can go through me if you want, or you can contact her directly. Either way, it's up to you. But it pretty much spells everything out, the whole process. I don't know, have it been explained to you, either of you yet in terms of the grant cycle? Okay, so we enter in this phase right now where we have till the end of the month to submit our policies and guidance and what the local cultural council wants from the program. And then as soon as the September 1st hits, the floodgates open for applications. On your calendar, the deadline for applications end on October 14th. Oh, hold on, that's August. October 17th, the application process ends for all grantees, at which point floodgates close and everything locks down on the public facing portal for applications. At that point, we now enter the, as of November 1st, the voting phase where we meet as a council and vote and discuss and decide of that money that the state gives us, how it gets allocated based on the grant applications. We have until December.
Is that on here?
It's in the calendar, so in that packet I gave you, there's a calendar I printed out.
December 31st.
December for theirs, okay.
We should do it on New Year's Eve, wouldn't that be festive?
Yeah, right. So on December 31st, we enter this weird phase where the grantees, we actually send out notifications prior to of those that get denied. And they have until January 17th to contest anything. So what happens is they get a denial letter from the state. It kicks out from the portal when we say deny on the grant application system. They then have a couple of weeks to reply back to us, the local council, with clarification, and then any changes that can be made to the application that will hopefully change our mind. I don't think I've done this 1 year now. I've never seen it happen. I don't know if Laura, you've ever had a contest come in
Nope.
from anybody? No. During the voting period, we can award the full amount they ask for or partial. And then by January 17th, we have to send out letters for those that were accepted. There's usually a mail merge template. I sent it out last year with all the names, all the information for the grants at that point. So it's all on the calendar here, pretty much all of it. One date I think I'm missing, and that is the contest start date. I don't know if that's going to be the 1st of January or if that's going to be sometime in December. I don't remember. So basically I went through this guide and I took all the dates out of it, because sometimes they change, but it's pretty much all there. And then as of January 17th, that's when the grantees can then conduct their events all the way to the end of the year. I read somewhere today it was 18 months. I'm going to go back and confirm that. One of the parts of the report I have to submit by the end of the month that we cannot change is the type of dispersal of the money. There's two types. There is dispersal, direct dispersal, pretty much when the grantee is awarded, we then send out a check from the town directly to them, and then it's on their honor system to then conduct the event, otherwise get the money back to us. The other type is a reimbursement type, where they conduct their event, then they have to submit a reimbursement form, which I think that's what Henry's one here is. We can go over that if you want to see it afterwards. We then sign the form, and I think it goes to the treasurer, correct?
We scan the forms, they don't want paper, you have two people sign it.
Yep.
It gets scanned, you send it to Kelly. I always put a cover sheet and a letter as to what we're asking for.
Okay.
And then it's out of your hands. You, at that point, update your records as to when you sent it to the town. That is on the report from the Mass Cultural Council as to when you sent it to the treasurer, so that you'll know if it hasn't come up on your monthly reports yet, that it's been, and you go bug our treasurer as to why hasn't this been paid. So.
Yeah, so that form is actually from the state, that's not our form. When I sent out the acceptance letters last year, that was included as an email attachment. You can also find that on the Massachusetts Cultural Council's website as well. So that is Henry the Juggler's reimbursement form, since he performed at the first or the second, he said, I don't know which one we're paying this for, I haven't looked at the date on it. But we'll have to sign that and then get the ball rolling for his reimbursement.
So it hasn't happened yet then?
No, that was in the mailbox when it came in tonight.
The event took place, we haven't asked to get money up from the town to pay him.
Correct. So instead of us giving the money directly to him and then his responsibility to record and notify us that the event has happened, he now has to apply for that, or not apply, but submit a request to get that money from the town. So I think it's in September is when the money hits the town, correct? No, December? No?
I've had it
When
come
does
as
it
late
happen?
as June.
Okay, June, all right.
No, it says late as June, it should be much
Okay.
sooner than that, but it's not right away, the beginning of the new year.
So, end of September, we lock in the financials, and then some point after that, the money gets sent to the town, and then we are responsible for processing these requests to get that money dispersed out.
The town will has to respond every year to the Mass Cultural Council's request as to whether this town still has a cultural council. And they will send back yes, and once our town has communicated with the Mass Cultural Council, then they can start to send the money. There was a hang-up one year because, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if there was a transition in the town administrator or what, but there was a hang-up, and it wasn't until June that the monies did not hit our accounts.
okay, so there's a conversation that happens then with the treasurer and the
That's
state.
above our head that takes place, but
Yeah.
if you're not seeing the money, you start asking questions.
And the treasurer will receive notification from the town that they received that money, correct?
No, I just see it on the monthly reports, monthly I do not
Okay.
get anything that's.
This monthly report is a ledger report that comes from the treasurer and the town, correct?
Comes from Kelly, the accountant.
Okay, Kelly,
Yes.
all right.
It's called budget versus actual.
Say it again?
It's called budget versus actual. And she has a pared down list of people that get it. And that's what I'm trying to get your name on, your
Okay.
email on that list.
Okay, that would be me then.
Yep.
Cool, all right. Recuse Kelly. So, dear council, here's my reimbursement form. I performed at Curtis Field for the congrats concerts this evening. The rain held off and the event was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for the grant, Henry. He's a cool gentleman if you've never met him before. He's got this really cool outfit. He walks around on stilts around, and then he usually does a little show that involves the audience sometimes as well, the kids especially.
Oh, do we not have to sign that application so we can get paid?
We do. So we can do that. Two of us have to sign that tonight, basically.
Let's do it right now.
All right. Get it
I
done.
like the way Laura thinks.
Keep them all morning, right?
As a freelancer who's been chasing clients for 20 years, I am all in favor of paying talent as soon as they ask for it.
And I need glasses. It's all right. I hold it back here.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing in your packet, we talked about before, this report at the end of the month that we have to submit. The language for what I'm submitting is gonna be on this printout right here. It's a single page. I pulled this from last year's. Verbatim, this is what I'm gonna be resubmitting. It's a single page in your packet.
It's in the packet.
Yes.
Did we give Henry the Juggler the credit policy outlined in the program regulations and guidelines? He probably received that when he was awarded the grant, right?
Yes. Yes, that was sent out as an attachment.
Process that thing.
Cool. Thank you, Henry. So if you want to take a minute to read through this single page, this is what we're going to be seeing. We cannot change it. I can, if you have any concerns about it, I can contact Hanako once we get our 5th member to see if we can change it. This information will be posted on the public website along with the application for the grantees.
It's probably on the town website also.
I
It is.
think that's
It
the
might
only
be.
thing that's on the town website page for us.
It might be,
Do we need to update on the town website?
if it's not changing, I don't.
It's not changing, true,
Well,
yeah.
I guess it depends on what we want the town website to be. Do we want it to be something that's interesting for people or something that is a resource? It can be both.
Yeah, absolutely. What we do have to do is deep link over to the Cultural Council's website, I think off of ours, if I remember right, so that they can get over to it. The actual, we should deep link the Massachusetts Cultural website, our section for that, correct, with our language? Or
I don't
doesn't
understand what
matter?
you mean by deep link. Could you explain?
So put a link on our website over to our section of the
Might
Massachusetts.
already be there.
Might already
I'm
be
not-
there? Okay.
I don't know.
We'll look.
Lori Reed was working on adding some links to stuff. Some may be there. I don't know
Okay.
which. And you gotta be careful with some of those type links because if names change, you're sent off into space. And we don't wanna do that.
Yeah. The applications haven't changed in 2 years, I noticed, for the grantees. But, well, sorry, the reimbursement form, I should say.
Yeah.
The reimbursement form has not, that link has not changed
Okay.
since I joined, and, yeah.
They went
Okay.
through a process where they went from multiple systems down to just 2. And at that point, there were a lot of links that weren't working. It just was, not that anybody looks.
Cool. Do we
So-
wanna spend, go ahead.
Do we have a cultural council website right now of our own?
We have a page on our town website for Cultural Council. We also have, the state has carved out a little section for us. When you go in to apply, you apply to a number of towns, and each town will have a profile. This report right here that I have to submit is that profile.
Okay.
So right now it's got last year's, and then at the end of the month, she's gonna flip the switch, the state representative, it's gonna be updated with a new version, which will be the same, because we don't have 5. But those are the 2 instances that we have to have 5 members. One is to approve this as well as do the vote. Everything else is a quorum internally.
Yeah, to answer your question, Bob, the website, the town website has a page that's devoted to us. It can be as many pages as you like, but right now it's a single page. And it is done in a cursive font, so it looks like the Declaration of Independence, and it's very matter of fact. This is who we are, this is our mission statement, and it's very dry and hard to read. So that is going to be something that I changed to make it more of a resource. Click here for this, click there for that, and make it less difficult to read, because right now it's in cursive.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And
So-
rainbow colors or something
And rainbow
also.
colors, yes, Hubbardston Cultural Council. So very ADA compliant. And we have a Facebook page that is mostly a one-way communication, which means that we post pictures and we announce things, and there doesn't seem to be a big community involved in it. It's more of, we're pushing things out there and people may or may not read it.
That's the place where, though, we did get members saying they wanted to join. I'm no longer an administrator, and thank you for taking me off, because I don't get the messages all the time when stuff goes up. I do appreciate that. But that's where we got the message from the lady that you were trying to follow up with. You could check in the message area to see if she's done anything.
I've tried
Okay.
every avenue. I've spent literally a month, 3-4 times trying to reach out to her.
Okay.
Her getting back to me with a message, and then me going back to her again with another message, and there's no, it's cold at this point. I've not made any headway with it.
So for our social media, I should be publishing the fact that applications are accepted September 1st through October 17th, right? Link
Yes.
to the application, a couple of pictures about past recipients, da-da-da. Voting, let people know when the voting is, so that we will not be letting people know one way or the other until the 17th. That's our deadline to send out the acceptance letters, right?
Yep.
But does the state follow the same guidelines for issuing the dig letters?
The 17th, which 17th are you talking about?
January.
October.
Oh,
January 17th, deadline to send out acceptance letters. Our deadline to send out the acceptance letters to.
okay, that's if the denials have gone out and.
Correct, the
It's
denials
15
go out, I
days
think, the end
after-
of the year,
And
and then.
it's like 15 days after the denials
Yeah,
have gone out.
2 weeks basically, right, and then as of the 17th of January, I think the last year's was 17th of January, the accepted letters then went out en masse.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got
yeah.
confused by the 17th from the end of the
That's
deadline.
what I was
of
missing on the calendar.
Hmm?
That's what I was missing on the calendar. The end of the year is the, decline letters, sorry.
How is that possible when voting closes at the end of the year?
Voting closes on October 17th.
Now,
No, but this
grantee applications.
Grantees, Right,
applications
when
closes.
Voting is from 11/1 to 12/31. So how can denials go out by the 31st if the vote closes on the 31st?
And that's why I think there's a date I was missing. I said that before. I didn't see it in the guide. I'll go back and look through it again.
It's usually January 1st, I think.
There's another date, I think. I remember doing it for Donna, I think, last time. It was a simple click of the button because they handled the whole communication for the rejections. I just had to click a button. I checked the boxes of the applications they want to reject and then click another button to send it out. And then the state took care of everything else.
But the state doesn't do the acceptance letters, we have to?
Nope, we have to do that.
Alright.
And the reason, because the verbiage can be different from council to council. The
Or even
verbiage needs to follow
applicant to
our,
applicant,
I'm sorry?
or even applicant to applicant.
Correct. But the guidelines and the policies for our local council can affect what that letter says as well.
But it's boilerplate usually, okay.
Yeah. For instance, this last year, when I sent out the template to all the grantees acceptances, there was a bit in there about Katie's, not field day,
Robertson Day?
yes, thank you. As well as field day for the Lions Club with the dates. Contact them if you need a venue to conduct your gig basically. Because I've had questions in the past of somebody calling me, hey, I don't know where to go, who hosts me, where do I? Well, go to Katie or go to Joyce. Talk to one of them and see if they can fit you, type of thing. It makes it a lot easier for some of the smaller gigs out there.
Yep.
That is one of the things they're supposed to supply us with on the applications, whether they have a place and a time to have the event. Normally they do, but if they don't, that's one of the things you consider when you're looking at them, is have they figured out how they're gonna pull it off?
Yeah, I highly recommend you go to one of last year's applications and just look through it to see what's there, the information that they collect. Unless you submit your own, you won't really see the form and know what's there. But it's pretty much a one-to-one with what we see on our end, just formatted differently. The Smart Simple, we can view the applications. Unless I complete an application for myself, I can see on the front end what it looks like, right? So we can at least go back and look, right? Yeah.
Unless they make them disappear.
I might send a message to the state about that, and just say, hey, please don't take those away, because it really helps. Especially, one of the things we've done in the past when voting is considering, how well was the event attended, poorly attended, great attendance, were there any comments, negative, that would affect us saying yes to them again, because a lot of them will reapply again for the next year. Like Henry the Juggler, for instance, he's a regular for us. So part of our weighing out and decision making is part of last year's as well. For some. All right. Do we want to take the time to go through this in the different sections, or you want to make this reading material on your own?
My own, in my case.
I
I
can
can
read
read
it.
it at home.
I'm sorry?
I can read it at home.
Okay, all right.
So I could tell you, I need to update the Hubbardston Cultural Council page on the Mass Cultural Council site. It's still listing Sarah as the contact.
Say it again.
The Hubbardston Cultural Council page on the Mass Cultural Council website has Sarah listed as the
I
contact.
just updated that today, so I don't know if there's a queue for that, or
An overnight batch that
It's
has
an
to run
overnight?
or something. I don't know, there
Yeah.
may be, I'm not sure.
I saw her cell phone number sitting there. I'm like, I gotta strip that out, get rid of it. So, yeah. The other thing I'd like to do is at some point change that to some number that's more local to the town, maybe an extension with a mailbox or something, and not have a personal number on it.
Now, the last time we met, didn't we ask Nick? Is that his name? Our town administrator? Yes, about whether or not we can get a town email address for the Hubbardston Cultural Council. Did anything come of that?
I've not heard anything. A phone number would be nice too. Although my address is public record, of course. You can find me if you really wanted to. I don't really like to publish unless I have to.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. Access to Smart Simple, that's the name of it, officially. It is cumbersome, but it is there. That's the system we'll use, for both the financial and the grant application side of it.
Smart, simple.
Smart Simple.
Is that part of the Mass Cultural Council website?
It's a different system. It looks different. It is a different URL. You, I think, should have received a link today in your email address
I
for
did,
signing
I
up
didn't
to it.
understand it.
Okay.
It
If
seemed
you, go ahead.
It seemed to be implied I was applying for a grant.
Okay.
I'll look at it again, though.
I'll look at it again. If you want some assistance going through that and getting onto the system, I can help you with that as well. There'll be a few pages of forms you'll have to fill out. In order to update everyone's information, as of today, I had to actually go through, they changed some of these fields from optional to required, such as the ethnicity, income, things like I said, not answering, because they wouldn't let me save email address or phone number on the profile unless I answered those questions, and one of the items was skip this question.
So ethnicity is still on there? Even though-
Ethnicity, income, there are a few other ones that are like, what? Interesting read. When you go into your account, you'll see it all sitting there. But I said skip answer for everything. I just changed the email and the phone number if it was missing. So we at least, had your contact information in there. Yep. Yeah, I don't really want to tell the world my income.
It's no
Is this
one's
something we have to
business.
do?
No, I did that for you already.
Did it let you save it, or did it say it's being saved as a draft? Because it used to be that when I went in and tried to add people and update their stuff, all I could do was save it as a draft, and somebody else had to actually go in and who had the right email address.
Oh, there was a draft button there.
And it didn't, so when you went in, you did Bob's, or?
Actually, no, I didn't do his because he doesn't have an account yet.
Okay.
But I had to go through, I think your address I had to plug in. It wouldn't let me update, your phone number was missing also. It wouldn't let me update that without your address. And I answered those questions. It was really weird. It seemed very,
Personal,
yeah, exactly. But they,
especially for a company or an organization that's, what's the word?
Volunteer run?
Volunteer run, but I was thinking, non-biased in any manner.
Right.
It just.
a lot of the questions were cultural based. So LGBTQ plus was one of
I don't
them.
think that should be anybody's business. I'm sorry.
But it wouldn't let me
I-
save the
I
information
understood.
unless I did that skip question answer option.
Okay.
So none of the information was divulged to any
Okay.
entity. No answer was
Is
made
this
to it.
an optional thing we're doing, talking about here, Tyler?
It's optional, yeah. Well, in order for me to update your phone number and email address, I had to save your profile, but the site would not let me save it without answering all those questions. They changed it from optional to required.
But they had an answer that was.
They had an answer that said skip this question, so I was able to go through everything and say, hey, skip this, skip this, skip this, skip this.
That's
And if you want to go back, if you want to go back and fill that information in, by all means. Let them know, yeah.
That sounds very new.
Yeah, but it was switched at some point from optional to required, so. All right, so any questions about Smart Simple, let me know. I'll help you get in, navigate it. It is awkward in some certain places. They changed the contact list over to the sidebar thing now. I think they're changing the website and trying to make things simpler, the way it looks, but we'll see.
Try to make it smart simpler?
But I don't have to do it, right?
Nope. You don't have to. Like I said before, if you want to go just paper, that's fine as well. I can account for that. It would certainly be easier if you had an account in the system and you could look up the grants yourself directly through the web. It would definitely save us from printing and,
Well, I
tree
am,
cutting.
to some extent, computer,
Okay.
not illiterate, but behind the times. And it's going to take me some experience to get up to let's say, the current speed of people in this room, I think, with using computers. I have one, of course, but I don't have a laptop, not gonna get one. And my wife has a smartphone, I don't have one. But it's going to be a problem for me, I think, in this particular group, being less than top of the, line with the experience with the.
So, like I said, it's not required, we can account for that if you
Okay.
need to. It's
Okay.
not, I'm not,
We
what I
can
do need
always-
to do is have your profile with your contact information, that's the one thing I do need.
You have my email.
I have, as of today, I plugged that information in. Now, if you want to create an account and get access through your account, the grant system, you can do that, but you don't have to. I just need your contact information. That was the point of today's exercise with the profiles, was just to get your contact information in so that,
It's like it'll be on my email,
your email and your phone number only.
my phone number.
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
And everything can be printed out so that you can see everything or whatever. I mean, it's just, a
It-
lot of times it's easier to look online for some of us, but we don't, the Cultural Council does not want to scare off people from being members because they don't have the newest technology, own it, and are used to using it. So we often would print off stuff for people, so.
What I want to prevent happening is you coming into a voting session and not having the paper copies of something or I haven't created my account yet, and you not having access to that grant information. That's what I want to prevent you from not having access to it, right? So if the computer thing is gonna, be a challenge for you and you don't want to go that route, that's fine. I just need to know, or we need to know about it so we can be prepared, for that part of the process.
Okay, yeah, I think.
Okay. Okay. Any questions about Smart Simple at this point? Otherwise, you know where I am, you know where to find me. I've started up a Google Calendar. It's public domain. Just so if you want to put it into your phone or any other mail client or, planning client, so you at least have the dates available to you electronically. Those dates are all plugged in per the guidelines that I found from here. Like I said, I think there's that one date I need to find. Any questions about that?
Sir.
All right. So rejections deadline. All right. And then we talked about the town website and Facebook. All right. I think that's it.
Nice meeting.
Thanks for coming, Lori.
Efficient. Yes.
I'm just don't want you to feel uncomfortable that you're being left alone. I promise, and I wouldn't do that ever. I know what it feels like to not have a good transition, and I really want this to be smooth for you. So,
Appreciate it,
Thank you very much.
very much so.
So we'll call this meeting adjourned.
That's it?
Yep. We are done. You can stop the recording now. Thank you very much.